Hey, what is up, guys? Snipe City Hawk here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing you Erik Karlsson mock trades. So obviously for the past now 6 months, there's been Erik Karlsson trade rumors coming up, swirling. He only has 1 year left on his deal now. He's making 6.5. He's going to be asking for a big contract this summer, and there's no telling if Ottawa wants to give it to him or not. And not only that, but if Erik Karlsson himself wants to stay in Ottawa, as they are just 1 year removed from being in the Eastern Conference Finals to Pittsburgh and losing to the eventual Cup winners. So they got a solid team, but does he want to stick around, see what happens, or does he maybe want to go to a contender? Who knows? So the first two, I think these are pretty realistic trades. I'd say realistic-isk, teams that could want them. And then the third one's kind of a crazy one, but I would like to see it happen. So let's get right into it. So the first trade is the New York Rangers. Now, I know what you're probably thinking is, why would the Rangers want to trade for Erik Karlsson, okay? So for one, Henrik Lundqvist is 35, 36 years old, okay? He's getting up there. His play is slipping. They have maybe 1, maybe 2 years max, okay, to get the most out of him. Okay, so they got a 1-2 year window to go all in and try and win a cup. Now I know they're technically rebuilding right now, but if they want to get right, fast track the rebuild, get Karlsson, sign him, and they still have a decent amount of cap room, so they could go out and get a. I don't think Tavares would go there, but if they could get Tavares and Karlsson this offseason, yeah, I'd put them in the playoffs for sure, and then cup possibly. That wouldn't even be putting their future way out of the question either, because they're both semi young. So they probably got 6 more years in their prime. So what would it take the Rangers to get them? Okay, so I think it would take them the 9th overall pick in this year's draft, the 26th, and then the last first round pick there is Tampa, so it's the 29th to the 20, or this 27th to the 29th. And then Anthony D'Angelo, good defensive prospect, and then Igor Shesterkin. He's the number two goalie prospect that's not in the NHL, and then the 9th overall prospect in hockey that's not in the NHL yet, or they've been drafted, or they're on an NHL roster, but they haven't played in the NHL yet. And then Anthony D'Angelo, I think, played with the Rangers this year and had a pretty okay year, so I think he's pretty young too, 21, I believe. And he's got top 4 defense potential. So they get a good, young defenseman, and for Ottawa's perspective, they get a good young defenseman to build around, and then they get a very, very good goalie prospect here. And goalies prospects are pretty valuable. And Craig Anderson's getting up there in age, and his play has been slipping a little bit. And then you also get 3 first-round picks if you're Ottawa here. So you get 3 good prospects here. From New York's, the Rangers standards, like I said, you get Erik Karlsson, the best defenseman in the game. You're not really, the 9th overall pick's pretty valuable, but you're not losing anything crazy there. You are giving up your goalie for the future, which kind of sucks, and you're giving up good defensive prospect as well. Who'd probably be in your top 6 next year. But if you're trying to, you gotta squeeze everything you can out of Lundqvist right now. So I say they go all in for him. The next team, we got the Montreal Canadiens. Now it's kind of the same thing. They got Shea Weber, and Carey Price, kind of in the end of their, I wouldn't say end of their prime with Price, but Weber for sure, especially after a very injury prone year. And they got some good young guys. They got Duran, Gallagher, got Chenyuk. So this team, you add Erik Karlsson, they could be pretty scary. Definitely a playoff contender. That's for sure. And then anything else from there, we'll see. But like I said, they could probably get in another 2-3 years, get a good rebuild, then maybe, and see what happens. So they actually hold the number 3 overall pick this year. So I think they would definitely have to give that up. They also have 3 second-round picks, so they're going to have to give those up as well. And then they're probably going to have to throw in a 2019 first-round pick. but it's not going to be as high up as this year's because they would probably make the playoffs, which means it'd be at the very worst or the very best to be a 16th overall. So yeah, I don't see that happening. Or I mean, I could see that happening, and they'll still get Noah Juleson, a good prospect there. Pretty high up prospect. I think he's Ottawa's actually best prospect right now that's not currently playing in the NHL. Like I said, this is another trade I can see happening because from Ottawa's perspective, you get the 3rd overall pick, so you can probably get Zadina, who's an amazing player. He's going to be your go-to scorer for the next 10 years. You also get 3 second-round picks, so maybe trade up to get a first-rounder. You can probably get a mid-first round for that. If not, there's still good prospects on the board. And then you get a 2019 first-round pick, which, like I said, will probably be like a 16th. So anywhere from that, they'll probably go out first, second round. So it could be anywhere from like that 16 to like 24 spot, something like that. And then you also get a good prospect in Noah Juleson. So I could definitely see this happening. And then here's the 3rd one. Now this one's one, like I said, it's a little crazy, a little unrealistic, but it's definitely possible. And I think my reasons are pretty strong for why this team would do it. So we got the Buffalo Sabres. So now obviously from Buffalo's perspective, it's kind of a rebuild-ish. But they also have, some guys going here that are pretty solid. They got Eichel, O'Reilly, Okposo. They got Ristolainen, who's a beast. And they also have Robert Leonard, who's solid. So, and they got Alex Nylander's coming up in the prospect pool. So they got some good guys here. Casey Middlestat. So they got some very good young guys, okay? This is like Toronto 2.0 almost. Not as talented as Toronto, but they got a lot of good guys here. So, here's what they'd have to get to Karlsson. Next set's a little crazy. But they'd give up a 1st overall pick this year, okay? That's going to be Rasmus Dahlin. So basically what they're doing here, now this is if I'm Ottawa, this is what I'm saying. So Karlsson's going to need a big contract next year, okay? He's not very happy in Ottawa at the moment anyways. Okay, so he might not even resign. So if you don't trade him, you're not getting anything, okay? You get the 1st overall pick, and you're getting a generational talent in Dahlin, okay? And then on top of that, you're getting a 2019 first-round pick, which I think Buffalo, once again, wins or makes the playoffs next year if they get Karlsson. So it'd be anywhere, I think they go out first round. So it'd be anywhere between that 16 to 24 range, somewhere in there. So a mid to late first-round pick. And you get Rasmus Dahlin, okay? Your defenseman for the future. He's like 8 years younger than Karlsson. Okay, now from Buffalo's perspective, okay, Karlsson is still young. He's on a pretty decent contract. I think he would resign with Buffalo because they got a lot of young talent. Okay, Dahlin, there's no, he's not a surefire prospect where he might bust. We don't know. I don't think he will. But does Buffalo want to take that chance if they get the chance to get the best defenseman in the NHL? I don't know. I think if they got this trade proposal, I think they'd take it, honestly. Because you don't know. Dahlin could get hurt, something fluky could happen, okay? Like he could have blood clots. Who knows? Maybe he has weak shoulders, okay? All this stuff is going to come down. And Karlsson might just be the move for them. Like I said, it's kind of an unrealistic trade. But it's that. I think it could happen, and from Buffalo's perspective, it makes a lot of sense. From Ottawa's perspective, it makes a lot of sense. I think this trade would work for both teams. I think all 3 of these trades would be good trades, and I think they'd be kind of smart for both teams. So anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys didn't enjoy, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more content from my channel, go ahead and subscribe. There'll be a little button in the middle for you guys to subscribe with. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Snipe City Hockey, out.